I think the reason value management and having a product like the Value Explorer is so important is because it fits into a story. And, we're a species of stories as humans. And so that's just how our brains are wired to understand things. And there's 4 reasons why we resonate with the story. The first is history. I mean, we're shaped by the history and the stories of our history. An example is, the cave drawings and everything else that went on. That's part of our history that shapes who we are as people. The second is cultural. We're much different than the Spanish in that we don't have universal health care as an example, right? So our cultures define us. The other one is remembrance. At its base, you have 2 + 2 = 4, and then later on you learn multiplication tables, or if you're a surgeon, you learn some really great procedure, and the next thing you know, you're saving people's lives through that procedure. And then the fourth one is identity. We're shaped by the stories we tell of ourselves, as well as those stories that people tell of us. And so I think if we understand, as a species of stories and how the story resonates with us, this story will make an impact on you. This is kind of why I went into value management. My son, I was very fortunate to be able to adopt him as a newborn. Welcomed into the world, and he has his issues, but he's strong-willed and he's perseverant. He was born with torticollis, and for those of you that don't know what torticollis is, essentially one neck muscle is longer than the other. So Sebastian was constantly in a tilt. And so we did what parents do. We sought out experts. We put him into physical therapy at 5 months old. He went through a series of Botox injections, vision therapy, you name it. For the first 20 months of his life, we did everything to include 2 cranial helmets to help correct some of the flatness in the back of his skull and some of the other things going on. And what we found was Sebastian was in the less than 0.5% that needed to get a surgery for it. So what do you do as a parent? Well, I'm lucky in that I have a very strong wife who did a lot of research. And what she found was a doctor in Florida that could do the procedure for us. And so that's pretty scary for a 22-month-old that's now going to have to go under the knife to get better. And so we flew to Florida, and I'll never forget it. We land on the plane there in Fort Lauderdale, and my wife gets a text message from a mom she had met on Facebook. And she calls that mother, and on this Facebook support group for children with torticollis, this woman proceeds to say, do not go with that doctor that you're scheduled to have surgery with that Saturday. He has more complications than other doctors out there, to include this one in Atlanta. So we're parents. Now what? So what do? We leverage the beauty of IT, and we have a Skype call with that other provider in Atlanta on Friday. He has the interview with us. We make the decision, keep in mind this is 2 days before his surgery, to cancel the surgery for our son. Instead, we fly up to Atlanta on Sunday, and on Tuesday, we have surgery with this new doctor. And the reason we went with this new doctor is he had a new procedure that he used, using an endoscopic procedure. It was less invasive. In other words, you didn't have to worry about cutting the carotid artery in our 22-month-old son. And he had a better outcomes. And I think of that moment, and had we not received that text message, we never would have known. And who knows what would have happened to our son. And so when I look at the collection of outcome-oriented metrics focused on a patient condition, it resonates with me and my family. And I'm sure it resonates with other people that are watching this video too. And so I would encourage each of you to look at a tool like an IT product, such as Value Explorer, that measures the outcomes in real time, and it provides choices and transparency for parents so that they can make an informed decision before they've committed to surgery and before they're lucky enough to maybe get that text message when they land.